Have you noticed something a little different in the air when it comes to money? It seems like we're moving beyond just, tightening our belts because we have to. We're seeing this really powerful new trend where being frugal is actually a deliberate choice. It's something people are proud of. This is what we're calling austerity by choice. And today, we're going to break down exactly what it is and why it's a huge deal for all of us.
Seriously, think about it. When did saving become a statement? For so long, the name of the game was consumerism, what you owned, what you could show off. But now it's almost like the opposite is true. Choosing not to spend has become its own kind of public declaration. It says something about your values, your priorities, and frankly, your desire to be in the driver's seat of your own life. So what on earth is causing this massive shift?
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll define what austerity by choice really means. Then, we're going to dive deep into the psychology behind it all. After that, we'll look at how it's actually changing our spending habits, explore the ripple effects on businesses, big and small, and finally, we'll wrap up with a few questions to help you figure out your own frugality type.
Okay, let's get right into it. Part 1, austerity by choice. What are we actually talking about here?
This right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. We're seeing this huge mental shift away from "I can't afford it," which feels kind of helpless, right? To this much more empowered statement, "I choose not to spend on this." It completely reframes frugality. It's not a limitation anymore, it's an active, conscious decision. It's a choice.
So here's the more official behavioral science definition, but what does it really mean in plain English? Well, it's a two-part strategy. First, you're super mindful about what you buy, and second, you get creative and resourceful with the stuff you already have. And the key thing is it's all for a bigger purpose, a longer-term goal, whether that's saving for a house, getting out of debt, or just achieving financial peace of mind.
Okay, so if this is a choice, what's driving it? What's going on in our heads? Let's get into the psychology, which really boils down to three main drivers.
The first one is something researchers call the scarring effect, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. If you've ever gone through a really tough economic time, like losing a job, that experience leaves a mark. It leaves a scar. And because of that, people tend to save way more for a long, long time, even after their finances get better. That memory just sticks with you and changes your behavior for good.
Driver number 2 is the need for control. I mean, let's be honest, the world can feel pretty unpredictable and chaotic sometimes, right? Well, managing your spending is one of the few things you can directly control. Every time you consciously decide to save instead of spend, it's like a small act of taking back power. It gives you a sense of agency in your own life.
And finally, it's all about playing the long game. There's a psychological concept called consideration of future consequences, which is just a fancy way of saying you're thinking about tomorrow more than today. It's about trading that quick thrill of an impulse buy for the much deeper satisfaction of hitting a future goal. You're basically playing financial chess, not checkers.
So, we've got the psychology down, the scarring, the need for control, the long-term thinking. But how does all of that actually show up in the real world? How is it literally changing the way we spend our money?
We're seeing this massive pivot from what you might call status spending to value spending. For years, it was about luxury goods, brand names, things that screamed exclusivity. Now the focus is shifting. People are asking different questions. Will this last? Can I get it repaired? Is it actually useful? And importantly, would I get more joy out of an experience than this physical thing?
And here's what that looks like day to day. It's people mending clothes instead of just tossing them out. It's the boom in buying secondhand. It's taking a pause, maybe sleeping on it before clicking buy now. It's choosing one really good quality item over 5 cheap, fast fashion ones. And it's putting money towards local shops or memorable experiences, like a concert or a trip.
Now, make no mistake, this isn't just a personal finance trend that stays in our own bank accounts. These individual choices are adding up, creating huge waves that are crashing into the entire business world, from the biggest global brands to your local coffee shop.
And if you need proof, look no further. In 2024, the global market for personal luxury goods actually declined by 2%. Now, 2% might not sound like a crazy number, but get this, it's the first time that market has gone down since the Great Recession. That is a massive signal that even the most bulletproof industries are feeling this change. This trend is really being felt on Main Street. If you're a small business owner, you're probably seeing fewer impulse buys at the checkout counter. Your customers are walking in with a plan. They're doing their research. They're way more intentional, and they want to see clear, undeniable value for every single dollar they hand over.
So, is this a crisis or is it an opportunity?
Well, experts like Mauro Capriata see it as a huge opportunity for businesses to get smart and adapt. He basically says this is the perfect moment for brands to take a hard look at themselves and listen to what consumers are screaming for: value, durability, and authenticity. It's time to realign with these new, crystal clear expectations.
All right, we have covered the what, the why, and the so what. Now, let's turn the lens back on you. I'm going to ask a few key questions that can help you get a better handle on your own habits around spending and saving. First up, think about your motivation. What's really driving you to save? Is it the memory of a past scar, a really tough financial spot you were in? Or is it more about looking ahead, building a cushion because you're worried about an uncertain future?
Okay, next question. When you say no to a purchase, how does that feel deep down? Does it feel like a restriction, like you're missing out? Or does it feel like empowerment, like you just made a strong choice that's good for you? The answer to that says a lot.
And finally, think about the timeline here. Are you cutting back for a short-term goal, like saving up for a big vacation and, after that you'll probably go back to your old ways? Or does this feel different? Does it feel like a permanent, long-term shift in your personal values and how you see the world?
Which brings us to one last big idea to leave you with. For generations, luxury has always been defined by what you could afford to buy. But what if that's changing? In today's world with its endless choices and economic uncertainty, maybe, just maybe, the ultimate luxury isn't buying something expensive. Maybe it's having the freedom and the power to simply say, I choose not to.